This is a ball valve that controls a hydraulic lift up and down on an SGL30TR Cleveland skillet. Just showing people how to put the spring on these and what the operation is. If you look at it now, with the spring is spring loaded, has pretty good tension on it. So when you're not in operation, it's closed like that. If you look inside, the ball valve is closed, which forces the pump to go to your lift cylinder. And when you push your ball rod in, it opens the valve up and releases the fluid back into the tank, and your tilt pan will drop down. A lot of people unhook the rods in here. To work on the front of this machine, you have to unhook the rod and the little ball and the hand wheel to get the panel to drop down so you can work on the gas and electric on these skillets. People make the big mistake of trying to unhook it here. Should leave this alone. Unhook your rod. They'll either have a cotter pin or a nut on the rod that goes through here. When you unhook here, then you got to fight putting the spring back on or losing the spring. I'm going to show you here. This one's not tight. Just going to pop it off. You can also see what happens if there's no nut. We made a comment about it would stay on. It's not going to stay on. The spring's going to make you pop up, and then it's going to pass where it belongs. So pretty much pop the spring off of the valve. It normally sits over here. If you notice, the spring locks on here. So the way to look at it is this part of your spring, the round part, will go towards your handle. When you're assembled right, it'll be here underneath your handle. Do not touch this nut. This is where your seal is, below this ball valve, and you'll leak hydraulic fluid. Only time you fool with this is if this is leaking a little bit. You can slightly tighten it. If it takes a lot to try to stop the leak, replace the valve. What you do here is you just simply put your spring on and you cock the hook part around your fitting. Alright, just like that. And you put your lever back on, hold it down, the lock washer, and your nut. Do not forget to tighten it when you're done. In this video, I'm just doing it quick, so I'm not going to tighten it. I would normally tighten it right here and put my spring on last. But now if you see what I'm going to do here, I'm going to take the spring, pull it around, and wrap it underneath. And you can see that has pretty good tension. And that's as simple as that is to put back together. And then tighten the nut. But the only way this lift is going to work properly is if this spring is on here, and you're only going to have this much travel in your rod to release it. That's all you're going to need. So I've had several people ask about putting these on properly, and that's the way to do it. And it will actually sit in the machine facing the outside panel like here. The rod will be facing your outside panel. You just pull your side panel off, which lifts up and pulls out, and you can get to this. And like I say, just check this over. You should always check your hydraulics when you're working on the machine, just to make sure everything's snug and tight, no leaks. Doesn't matter what part of the machine you're working on. If you're going to touch a part and unhook any part of it, check that component and make sure it's working properly. Last thing you want is to have to come back. So I hope this helps people who are trying to work on these valves. We do stock all this stuff at EasyQuip. If you have any questions, give me a call. Thank you.